Hey guys, I'd like to welcome you all to the first episode of the Create Brevity Pod. This podcast is an offshoot off of our website. We had a lot of people just wanting more information about manifesting and the difference between, attraction and assumption, and people who wanted more sort of fleshed out versions of our articles. So if you are already familiar with the website or the blog, or you're one of our clients, welcome. If you're new and you literally just sort of stumbled upon this podcast, consider it serendipity, and I want to welcome you as well. A little bit about what we do at Create Brevity. We're a website dedicated to helping people manifest their dreams. Now, that sounds really trite, but that is actually what we do. We take a lot of pride in that, in helping people focus on the reality that they want to experience in this lifetime, and we help people achieve their goals. This podcast, like I said earlier, we're going to just sort of flesh out some of the ideas that we talk about. So if you see an article off the blog or on the site that you're interested in, that you kind of want a little bit more detailed explanation about, feel free to reach out to us, give us a shout out. If it's something that we can do a podcast episode about, we'd be happy to do it. Now, just going into it, a lot of people who are just sort of new to manifesting, they want to know, first of all, what is manifesting? So, manifesting is about changing energy. It's not magic, okay? And it's not some sort of spell that you're casting, or like a vortex that's going to open up and suck you in and drop you off somewhere else. But what it is it's influencing your energy and the energy you put out with your thoughts. And it's using your thoughts to create, I would say, an energetic thoroughfare, like a roadway to the reality that you want to experience. So what you learn to do when you learn to manifest consciously is you are taking all of the things that you naturally do, because everyone manifests every single day of their lives, every moment. When we're thinking, when we're dreaming, we're putting out an energy, right? Vibration, if you want to call it that. I know some people like to refer to it that way, but it is energy. And what you get a response from the outside world. So you are producing an inner thought, an inner energy, and when you project that out, the world responds. And that is basically manifesting. You're manifesting responses back from people. You're manifesting things back from people. Now, when you are conscious, just like the word implies, you're awake. So you're basically awake to this process. So this is something you do naturally, but now you've learned how to use it to help you get the things you want in the ways that you want them, for example. Okay? Or you're using it in a way so that you can get specific things that you want. So basically, you're not manipulating anything. You're not disturbing free will or destiny. What you're doing is you are using your thoughts, but consciously, not indirectly the way you were before, but now directly, okay, to get an energetic response back from people and things. So when you manifest, like I said before, it's not so much magic as it is focus and as it is practice. Now, one of the quotes that I like to say a lot about manifesting, whenever people are sort of curious about it, or it's something they want to try but they don't quite understand, and I'm not even quite sure who said it, who said this quote first, but with manifesting, it is truly correct to say that you do not get what you want so much as what you are. So what you're doing is you're focusing on yourself and your inner world, okay? And what you're doing is you are aligning yourself, okay, with the vision, with the things that you want. And what we do at Create Brevity is we basically teach you how to do what you do naturally, okay? We teach you how to do it in a more conscious way and in a less resistant way. Because a lot of times when you start this process, some people won't face resistance. Some people will face a lot. But you really need to get good at releasing that resistance. Because when you do something indirectly or naturally, the resistance is a little bit easier to let go of because you're not thinking about it. But because when you're awake and you're conscious to the process, you're thinking about it and you're focusing on it, it can be hard for people to stop. And it can be hard for people to stop focusing on the things that don't matter and start focusing on the things that do. So hopefully with these podcast episodes and with the website and maybe even with our help, you can get there. Now, with our site, we really do want to help people. So we do offer one-on-one coaching. However, we ask that you send us an email explaining your situation a bit. Some people are very close, and they might not need quite as much help, and some people might need a little bit more, and we can kind of try to tailor our experiences, our teaching experience to your problem, to whatever your issue that's coming up in your manifestation journey. So, okay, that's what manifestation is. It's taking conscious manifestation anyway. It's taking a natural process and it's giving you the awake perspective, the eyes open perspective to it. So what you're learning how to do basically is to do what you do naturally while you're awake, while you're thinking in your conscious mind. Now, the next question that I get as soon as people figure out what manifesting is how do I manifest? Right? It's only natural that we'd want to know then how we can do this. How can we be awake to this process? How can we get specific things that we want? And it's a really, like I said before, it's a matter of focus, okay? It's aligning what you believe about yourself, okay, to the thing that you want, or the person, or the job, or the situation that you're looking for. So you're going to take what you believe about yourself and you're going to align it with a version of yourself that has that. Now, this is done through focusing. You are going to focus only on what you want and not on all the other external things. So a lot of manifestors like to call this circumstances or the 3D, right? So I'll give you an example. If you are trying to manifest a new job, maybe one that pays a little bit better, maybe one that has more perks, don't focus so much on how do I get it? And what if someone else is smarter than me? What if the boss likes someone else? What if I fail on the day of my interview? What if my car breaks down? All of these things are those sort of what if situations are negative circumstances that can occur or have occurred. If maybe you did mess up the interview, maybe the boss does seem to favor somebody else over you, right? But the more you focus on those negative circumstances, the more you're actually not focusing on the thing that you really want, which is the new job. So you need to get yourself in a position where you can ignore what's happening in front of you, right? And focus only on the end goal, on the end result that you're seeking. Now, as you're ignoring it, that's when the resistance pops up, right? Because that's when we are like, wait a minute. I think of it almost like a rubber band, okay? So, we're stretching the limits of our imagination. We're stretching the limits of what we can think is possible. So we're pulling the rubber band back. We're pulling it back. And when we pull it back, and if we slip up a little bit, it can snap back, right? It can kind of snap forwards again. You can get that little sting, that stinging feeling on your finger or your wrist, right? And depending on how much you've pulled it back, it'll snap back harder and it can hurt. And that's because a lot of times our brains, conscious brains anyway, they're trying to protect us. They don't want us to feel the negative circumstances as deeply. A lot of times, unless you're starting this journey very, very young, you may have had negative experiences in the past with jobs, with bosses, and it's kind of left an ingrained impression in your conscious mind about what it feels like when you don't get what you want. And because, we're just human beings here to have the full human experience, we can want to shut off that part of ourselves just because we don't want to feel pain. We don't want to relearn old lessons, right? So we can kind of shut it off. And that's really what's happening when you feel that snap back and that resistance. It's just the old reality, things that you have maybe previously manifested or previously believed to be true. And it's not meshing with what you now know, with your new beliefs, right? With your new goal that you have for yourself. So your brain is actually going to try everything it can to get you to kind of revert back to yourself, the old version of yourself, the version it understands, right? You can think of it like a computer update or an update on your phone, right? It can be hard to accept some of the changes because you like what you like knowing what had come before. So that's actually what's happening within your own brain. The new subconscious reality, the goal that you're creating, this new life that you see for yourself with this new job, is really fighting your old one. And that can take some getting used to, and it can hurt, actually. And that rubber band kind of, it snaps you a little bit. It can hurt. But that's what releasing resistance is. And that is why releasing resistance is so important. Having resistance doesn't mean that you won't reach your end goal, but it does make the journey more pleasant for you along the way, right? And that, because that's the thing, is getting what we want, being able to focus on our goals, having the life rather that we want to have is our birthright, right? That's what we're supposed to get in this world. That's what we're supposed to be able to achieve. So there's nothing wrong with it. And as a result of that, it should feel natural. And if it doesn't, and you feel that resistance, then letting go of that resistance, it's important. It becomes it's a hindrance to this natural way that you want to live, where you're manifesting all of the things that you need and that you want, consciously or not. So that basically is, I would say those are the basics of manifesting. Okay? And so we've covered what it is, we've covered how to do it. A lot of clients have questions about techniques. I've heard of this technique and I've heard of that technique. What you need to understand is techniques are really just different ways of focusing in on your goal, right? They're just different ways of helping you get to your goal. Techniques don't actually manifest anything for you. So affirmations, right? Positive affirmations are an awesome technique, and people really like using them. I'm worthy, I'm smart, I'm beautiful. I am destined to have this job. I'm destined to be rich. I'm rich, right? These are great affirmations. However, the words themselves don't mean anything without your focus, without your subconscious mind, your inner world sort of focusing in on it, right? And believing that it's possible. So don't put so much stock in techniques, right? All of the belief that you have for the affirmations, you should try focusing and putting them on yourself, okay? Believe in yourself, right? Believe in your ability to be a conscious manifester. Believe in your ability to manifest your goals and your dreams, because you are the only person, right, that's going to get it for you. Because you're the only person that can align with this other version of you, right? You have to think of your conscious, that awake time that you have as sort of a bubble, right? And you're projecting all of these things out of your little bubble. And other people are responding to them, right? When they come into your bubble, right, or they bump into you, or they face you, okay? They're just responding to the energy that you're putting out. That doesn't mean you're controlling them, okay? Every single person has their own bubble, right? We all have our own visions of what's happening in our world. Other people exist, right, without you creating them. That's not what it is. However, you do create this sort of energetic field, right? The thing that people come into, you do create opportunities for people to respond to you and to reflect back to you. And that's basically all you need to remember in a way. Because again, other people and what they're doing and what they're not doing, those are all sort of those 3D circumstances, right? Not seeing them, not responding to them, not being scared of them. That's all a part of releasing resistance. Releasing things that are taking away from your focus of the thing that you want, and taking away from how you feel about yourself and what you're thinking about yourself in relation to your goal. So that's going to be it for our first episode. I hope you enjoyed it, sort of that basic introduction. We do have our blog and our website in case you guys have any further questions about manifesting, or if you are interested in kind of reading up on some articles that have a little bit more information about techniques and manifesting and releasing resistance, please come check us out at www.createbrevity.com, and that's create CRE8 brevity.com. So there's a number in there, and we will have a link in our page as well if you're interested. But I just want to thank you guys for joining us for our first episode. It was so much fun talking to you. I love checking out other manifesting coaches and other YouTubers, and a lot of times some clients will even ask if you can recommend some other sources. And two wonderful manifesting coaches have been Illuminating Joy and Pluto's Gate. In fact, Pluto's Gate came up with the projector analogy, and I thought that was a really beautiful way to put it. And they're both on YouTube, if you're interested in that as well. So thank you so much, and I appreciate your time. You guys have a great day.